Hey guys, welcome back to a new video, and the TL is finally back on this channel with more content. I'm gonna be dialing in my fitment. So how I'm gonna be dialing in my fitment is, well, with wheel spacers, okay? So if you guys can see that it has a slight poke, well, I want it to be a little bit more spacious out there. So when I air out, I hope that I can do a lip to fender fitment in the rear. I mean, not in the rear, in the front. Just ever so slightly. I'm not sure what the tire size I'm allowed to. It'll be easier for me to adjust my fitment because I got upward control arms and it's very adjustable. And then for the rear, I'm gonna be doing a tuck fitment, but I'm gonna be rolling my fenders just a little bit more, so it could be a little bit thinner, so it can have that close contact fitment with that as well. This is gonna be a very simple process, and well, actually, it's only simple if you have like adjustable camber arms. That makes things a lot smoother and easier. All right, so to install wheel spacers, I suggest that when it comes to these nuts that they provide, you see how it's a lot thinner than this one? Well, especially when a nut is that small or that thin, I want to highly recommend running them. So I suggest that you guys go to O'Reilly's or wherever other parts that you have, pick up a couple of these thicker ones, and you guys gotta make sure that it sits basically, how you say it, within the crevice of the wheel spacer, so it won't stick out as much, or else you will come into an issue where you're not able to mount the wheel properly. And make sure that the stud isn't sticking out as much, unless you could just shave it or anything like that. And then to torque everything down, especially if it's in the front side of the vehicle, put a screwdriver in the brake disc so it can prevent it from rotating when you try to torque everything down properly. So I torque it down to 90 feet labeled torque, so it should be as much as what it's like to mount the wheel on, so because you don't want this thing to fly off, or you don't want this thing to break. As long as the material is forged and the center bore is the exact same size as the center bore on the brake disc, such as 64.1, then you're pretty much set. So this is like practically OEM, and this isn't going anywhere. So we're gonna go ahead and mount the wheels on. And then we're gonna go ahead and adjust these 4 bolts right here to adjust the camber. And then you see how it sits. And then we're gonna do the same thing for the other side as well. All right, so everything's all adjusted under here. As you can see, the width of the wrench, so it's pretty good. So this I measured from the bottom, so it's the same length as this right now of the wrench. So let's see how it sits. So I'm gonna be tightening everything once again, just in case, because it does move if you don't tighten it correctly. So yeah. My goodness, I actually achieved what I wanted. Lift to fender. There's a small gap though, but that's okay. That's okay. It's just small. Look at that. Ooh. That looks so good. Now this is what I call flush fitment. Wow. Wow. I finally achieved my front fitment. Ooh, now it's time to the rear. Ooh, I'm so excited. Ooh, I'm shaking. I'm shaking. Look at that. It's a little bit lower too. Oh, look at that. It's lower. Oh my God. Ooh, I'm happy. Let's get on to the rear. Okay, so for the rear, to adjust, basically the adjustment in the camber, we're just gonna be adjusting the rear tow arm. This is a Megan Racing tow arm, which is kind of pretty easy to adjust, I would suggest. So straight WD-40 on this end, and on that end, you're gonna loosen those two nuts, and then you can spin it freely. So I highly suggest you guys penetrate it with WD-40 first before anything. So we're gonna go ahead and just loosen that, and then we should be set. And we're gonna add the spacer on too. For this one, since this is an e-brake, you don't really have to put a screwdriver or anything because there's no slot for it. So, and plus the parking brake is on, if anything, it'll be easier to torque down. So let's get that started. So as you guys try to torque down the nuts on the wheel spacer on this side, and pretend, or not pretend, hypothetically, what if your e-brake is on but it's still rotating while you're torquing it down? So I highly suggest that you guys get one of at least a stick, a long stick, or a piece of wood, and prop up it like this on your brake pedal, and then to release the pressure, that just leave it in there, and then you just go ahead and start on the other side. So that, just in case that's slippage, it means that you need to upgrade the brake shoes from the interior, either way. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get started on the other side before we start loosening up the control arm. All right, so now that we got these bolts and the one at the end right there loose as well, so we got room to do a free play right now. Holy cow. So I think I went way too far with it, but I think it looks good. Like, there's still space right here. That's like about 5 millimeters, I would say. And this is how it looks. Stance. Can't go wrong with it. Stroking is going wrong with it. That's how much it's sitting on the ground. This is like completely all aired out. The front's lip to fender too. Alright, so basically I had to max out the rear camber arm, so it's like completely maxed out. The fronts aren't not that maxed out, which I kind of like how it looks. The reason why I don't want too much camber in the front is because since it's a front wheel drive, most of the power goes to the front. So like obviously the front will wear faster than the rear. But overall, I like how it looks, other than that little gap between there and the rear fender. But overall, I like it. Took a lot of work, but this is perfect fitment, and it looks completely stanced, man, stanced. And that is tucking in the rear too. Sheesh. So yeah, I hope this video was able to help you guys out to understand how to adjust the camber arms and to dial in your fitment. For the rear, it's actually pretty easy. You just rotate the tow arms, and the front you just adjust the whole entire arm by just loosening up the bolts on the upper control arm. Then you're pretty much set. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and peace out.